What's up, guys? I'm back with another video. Today we're talking about the psychedelic industry. Just want to give an update on my thoughts. This is an industry I've been keeping a close eye on for a long time, since the first IPOs back in probably, I don't even know, like maybe 2019 was maybe when the first psychedelic focused companies were IPOing. But basically, a bunch of companies are trying to bring psychedelic medicines to market, for treatment-resistant depression, for anxiety disorders, for PTSD. And these companies, along with the rest of biotech, have just been having a really rough time for the last few years, pretty much down only, having to raise money, dilute shareholders. But hopefully we're coming to the end of this down cycle, especially for psychedelics. A lot of us were expecting MDMA to be approved. What was that, like maybe 8 months ago or so, by the FDA. Got rejected for numerous reasons. Next up, we have psilocybin by Compass Pathways. So this is the next major catalyst, and it's coming up in the next few months. Basically, within the next 4 quarters, we should have the data for their phase 3 trial. And obviously, this is going to be what the FDA looks at to decide whether they're going to approve it or not. And after we get the data, it should take another 8 months or so before they decide if they're going to approve psilocybin for treatment-resistant depression by Compass Pathways. And obviously, this is just going to have a major influence on the entire industry. If this gets approved, I expect all psychedelic stocks to pump. A lot of people have lost interest in Compass Pathways despite them being so close to approval, simply because other companies have shown superior data with their medicines. Compass Pathways is actually at all-time lows in stock price, despite it being, as I said, very close to approval. It seems that a lot of the analysts covering the company give it about a 65 to 70% chance of approval. And so, this is really a huge moment for the industry. If it doesn't get approved, a lot of these companies are going to have to dilute shareholders massively, because likely they're all going to dump in share price. And the next one to be approved, I believe is, if I'm correct, I think the closest ones are Cybin, and I believe GHRS Research, but they're not for another couple years at least. So there's going to be a lot of dilution if Compass Pathways doesn't get approved from all psychedelic stocks. But as someone who believes in the therapeutic potential of these drugs, I, have a sizable position in my stock portfolio. In my whole stock portfolio, I'd say about 2 to 3% is psychedelic stocks. Obviously, I'm speculating that it will be approved, and I think they will shoot up pretty aggressively in that result. I am diversified between Atai Life Sciences, Compass Pathways, GHRS Research, and Cybin. And I think all of them are very promising. All of them have very promising drug candidates. So, my largest positions are currently Compass Pathways and Atai, because they have the cheapest valuations. But honestly, I'm trying to even it out, really. I feel like I'm forgetting one of the companies that I have. But GHRS Research, being focused on 5-MeO-DMT, I've really been trying to increase that position. It seems to be consensus that DMT may have the greatest potential as a therapeutic drug, especially especially because it's also shorter acting, which makes it easier, more convenient as a prospect. You don't have to have someone looking over the patient for 8 hours straight. So That's the one I'm really looking to add to the most. It's also the largest by market cap, partly because they just have the best funding at the moment. They won't have to raise for quite a while, it looks like. Whereas the other ones, especially Cybin, which is trading really cheaply, but really only doesn't have much money left, like probably about a year's worth of runway. So, you know, hopefully they shoot up with good news from Compass Pathways, and they are able to raise at a higher price. Otherwise, we're likely to get diluted pretty badly as Cybin shareholders. But, you know, obviously we have a lot riding on this Compass Pathways data and them potentially being approved. So that's what I'm speculating on. You know, right now, most of these companies are near their all-time lows. So I'm just DCAing very slowly. As I said, I've got 2 to 3% of my stock portfolio in these companies. I wouldn't mind raising that up to something like 5%, because, like I said, I believe very strongly in these drugs as therapies, and these companies are very cheap. Because if you compare it to ketamine, which is the closest thing we can compare it to that is in the market today, Johnson & Johnson's patented version of ketamine called S-ketamine this past year in 2024 did over $1 billion in revenue. So I think these drugs can do just as much as that, if not more. And all of these companies are valued significantly below $1 billion. So I think they're all very cheap when you look at it from that perspective. I think there's a chance that psychedelics, that these drugs scale even faster than S-ketamine because of the nature of psychedelics and the experience that you have while on psychedelics. I think people will be more vocal about their passion for the experience that they have. If they have a really good experience and it cures their depression or, you know, whatever illness they have, I think they're going to be more passionate and want to share that with their friends. And I think it's just going to be more viral of an experience. So I think it will scale faster than S-ketamine. Again, it's very speculative, but, you know, that's my thesis. And, you know, if they keep going down or stay around the same leading up to the FDA decision, I will be adding, as I said, up to, you know, to the point where it could be up to like 5% of my portfolio, my stock portfolio, that is. So that's it for the video. If you like the video, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. See you guys next video.